And still on the debate, U.S. politicians have commented on Thursday's U.S. presidential debate, which carried huge stakes for both Joe Biden and Donald Trump as they battle for an advantage in their tight race for the White House.
And nowadays, because he is under such a vast criminal cloud, he is obsessed with himself. He's not simply running for the White House. He's running from the jailhouse.
But do you
That's
think
his problem.
But if somebody at home is asking themselves, who's going to make me proud of being an American again? That's where Trump won this hands down. He mopped the floor. I thought it was a great outcome.
So joining us on the news to share his thoughts is Collins Nweke. He's a global affairs analyst. Collins, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you for doing this with this. I mean, I gotta ask, right? How do you think President Biden's performance in the debate will impact his campaign, especially considering the concerns about his age?
Well, thank you for having me. The backdrop of the debate was always his age. That had always been an issue. Now, if you look at the fact that historically, incumbent presidents in a debate of this nature usually score lower than their challenger, you will see that ordinarily, they wouldn't have been very much to, worry about. Obama was there. Obama performed so badly, so poorly during the first debate. I can go on and on and on. But the point is that even before the debate, there was already that big question mark hanging over, Biden's ability to be the president considering his age. And yes, indeed. I mean, not even his Democratic, colleagues could deny the fact that his performance was very, very abysmal. It was very, very poor. Now, they are trying to still manage, the aftermath by actually saying that he made a poor start, but he finished strongly. Well, it remains to be seen how his performance is going to affect his chances of being re-elected.
Speaking of performance, right, when you look at the debate, there were lots of personal jabs going on there. Everyone was, taking jabs at each other, Trump and Biden. But what are the potential implications of Trump's attacks on Biden regarding economic and international failures for Biden's support base?
Well, there's something curious that has been happening, since the debate, and that is the fact that, when polls were taken, it doesn't look like there is a significant shift in terms of, people who were supporting Biden no longer supporting him because they felt he performed, poorly, and the other way around, the same for, Trump. So, as a matter of fact, it does look like the debate isn't having, very much significant impact on what is going to happen. I think the point remains that they still have a long way to go, some 4 months, and I believe that there is ample opportunity for, both sides to begin to reinvent themselves and, actually convince the American people that they are the one, one of them is the one fit for the job. But ultimately, America is faced with a choice between a con man convicted criminal, which is what Donald Trump is, and an old man that is fumbling very low in energy and appears not to have, the strength required to do the job. Those are the choices facing the American people.
And I'm so glad you captured it very well, because in this side of the world, we're saying that finally, for the very first time, America is faced with what a number of countries in this part of the continent face as well, which is either the devil or the deep blue sea, or the deep blue sea. And so in this case, right, I have to ask, how would Biden's debate performance influence the Democratic Party's strategy? Because we were talking about this earlier, so I would like to circle back to that. Now, as the polls show, there's a tight race with Trump now. How can they tip it all the way to the top that Biden has somewhat of an advantage?
Well, Biden, just like Trump, needs to reinvent himself. The performance was poor, abysmally poor. Now, in the second debate coming up, I believe, on the 10th of September, and in the run-up to that second debate, if he's able to show that, what his, handlers are saying is correct, which is that he had, the common cold, he's been under the weather, and that was what actually affected his performance. If he's able to prove through being a lot more articulate, show high rather than low energy, I believe that Americans are going to give him a second chance. Now, for Trump, I think it's a much more harder ball to play here because his conviction is his conviction. Americans, know all the truth about him, yet his support base remains strong. I think the challenge now for Trump is how is he going to, convince the independents and undecided people? He's not doing a very good job at it. He appears to be, playing to the gallery of his strong support
right-winged
base.
supporters.
For how long that will, hold him through to the finishing line remains, to be seen.
Well, Collins, I want to say thank you very much for coming on, and we'll continue to put our eyes on the presidential elections there come November and even the next debate. Again, many thanks. And that's Collins Nweke. He is a global affairs analyst, and he joins me today to talk about the U.S. presidential debates.